It's time for Weekly Pulse, your heartbeat to what's trending in sports. Welcome to Weekly Pulse. I'm your host, Mackenzie Salmon. The Fall Classic is finally here with the two best teams, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays, facing off. On this week's episode, I have a roundtable discussion with our MLB reporters to tie a bow on the postseason. NFL's George Kittle and Derrick Henry join me to talk some X's and O's. And of course, we have Lorenzo's locks for the week. Before we get to all that, let's talk some football as we kick it off with NFL Power Rankings. Week 6 is in the books and we have a new number 1 at the top of our rankings. Time to dive into our risers and fallers of the week. Faller, Buffalo Bills. You were 4-0. Then in back-to-back weeks, you fall to the Chiefs and Titans. You are not going to get where you want to go when you lose to the teams you'll likely have to go through in the playoffs. The Bills are still the clear favorites in the AFC East, but they have some soul searching to do. Riser, Arizona Cardinals. We weren't sure if we could take you seriously yet, but a Monday night win over the Dallas Cowboys is a step towards national prominence. With Kyler and D-Hop, anything feels possible. Riser, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was an absolute beatdown of the previous number 1 team in our rankings. Tom Brady was sharp and Rob Gronkowski may have finally dusted the cobwebs off. Look out. Faller, Green Bay Packers. They were coming in 4-0, off a bye, number 1 team in the rankings, but they frankly look like the number 32 in week 6. Rodgers got hit a lot, the run game was non-existent, and the defense folded with no support from the offense. Green Bay will be okay, but this should give everyone pause. Riser, Pittsburgh Steelers. They destroyed a decent Cleveland Browns team. Just whooped them. This Steelers defense is the best in the league right now. Pair that with a Hall of Fame QB who has weapons all over the field. This may be the most complete team in football. Faller, LA Rams. Think of it this way. The Rams were 4-1 with all 4 wins coming against the NFC East. There are 2 losses to the Bills and now the Niners show this team certainly has its cracks. If you double Donald and contain Kupp, it spells danger for LA.
Well, that was my first week with the losing record so far this year, and all I can say is, message received. I'm going to cool it with the road favorites for a bit. I'm Lorenzo Reyes, and I've been covering the NFL for 7 years now, and every week I'm going to hit you with the 3 bets I feel most confident in, my locks of the week. And let's kick this off with a team that I think turned the corner. In Raheem Morris's first game as interim coach, the Falcons looked quick, they looked aggressive, and they held on to a lead. They're at home against the Lions team that I just don't trust. A team I think is getting overvalued for beating a weak Jaguar squad on Sunday. Also, Julio Jones is healthy. Take the Falcons to lay those points, 28-20. Now let's turn to a team I haven't looked at all season long, but they're getting my attention. Kind of like that 5th person on your pick-up hoop squad that doesn't really look athletic, but just keeps making plays. The Bears are 5-1 this year and 4-2 against the spread. They're on the road getting 5.5 against a Rams team that just had a letdown against the Niners. San Francisco kind of put out a blueprint to neutralize that pass rush. Get the ball out quickly. I know Matt Nagy took notice. I'm picking the Rams to win, but the Bears to cover, 26-23. Finally, there are some other lines that I like, but nothing wows me like this over-under. The Titans are the league's 2nd-ranked scoring offense, and the Steelers are the NFL's 4th. Derrick Henry and Chase Claypool are touchdown machines, and the over-under is sitting at 51.5 points. But that's not all. To show you just how much I've got your back, I tracked down the stats from referee Sean Hochuli's games this year. Teams are averaging 11.8 penalties a game, which is on the lower side among league officials. His crew is letting them play. Teams are also averaging 28.1 points when he's the ref. The over has hit 3 out of 4 times. Yes, I really did look up referee stats. So hit that over. I'm taking the Steelers in a tight one, 31-28.
The Bucs may have sent a statement to the NFL with their thrashing of the previously undefeated Green Bay Packers, but they also served a blueprint for what will make them a dangerous contender if they can keep this up. The defense was phenomenal, rattling Rodgers, sacking him 4 times, hitting him 13 times, having Rodgers leave RJS with the 2nd worst passer rating of his career, not giving up a point in 10 consecutive possessions. I can go on and on about this defense. It all started with Jamel Dean's pick 6 in the 2nd quarter. But when you think about it from the Bucs' perspective, It was the balance, the completeness of this victory that really has to have them feeling very good about themselves as they bounce back from that loss at Chicago a week and a half ago. Now, the question, as White asked in the post-game press conferences, can they do it again? That's what I'm hearing. I'm Jared Bell, USA Today Sports.
When Weekly Pulse returns, our MLB reporters Bob, Steve, and Gabe chat with me about Tampa Bay's run, Clayton Kershaw's legacy as a Dodger, and who they have winning it all. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Weekly Pulse. We do have the two best teams in the World Series. No flukes happen despite the shortened season and unusual postseason format. So, Gabe, I'll start with you. Should the winner of this series have 0 asterisks attached to it? Why or why not?
Yeah, definitely no asterisks. I mean, it's especially when you add in the extra layer of playoffs. You know, they had to get through a best 2 out of 3, which adds to the randomness. My whole thing with that is, you know, these teams have been good. You know, the Rays have now won 90 games 2 years in a row, and they were on a 108 win pace this year. The Dodgers have made the World Series 3 out of the last 4 years. You know, there's nothing out of the blue about these teams. They've been consistently good. And I know you shouldn't compare one year to the next, but, you know, these teams both are very proven and they've played great and have certainly backed it up in the playoffs. You know, for the Rays to take out a really good Yankee team, a Yankee team that started Garrett Cole twice in a best of 5, go on to, you know, obviously the Astros are pretty tough to kill and took them to Game 7. And, you know, so, I mean, if the Rays were to somehow get through the Dodgers as well, I mean, I don't see how you couldn't call that anything but legitimate. And on the Dodgers end, kind of the same thing. You know, they took out a 3-time division champ in the Braves, obviously an on-the-rise Padre team, and certainly nothing to apologize for if they're able to get through a very tricky out in the Tampa Bay Rays.
Before I let you guys go, tell me your picks for the series. Steve, you picking Tampa or LA?
I'm thinking it goes 7 games, and if that happens, either team can win. But ultimately, I think what Tampa Bay does offensively, I mean, they rely on the long ball. They strike out a lot, and I think making contact is what's going to be the difference. The Dodgers are very good at that, drawing walks and things like that. The Rays do have the tendency to strike out, and I think in the end, that's what's going to cost them. You can't keep doing that and having, you know, Randy Arozarena and Mike Zunino, the guys that kind of carried them in the previous round. When you swing and miss a lot, those kinds of streaks don't last as long. And I think making contact, the Dodgers are better at that than the Rays are, and I think that's what's going to be the difference.
Bob, you said Tampa Bay wouldn't surprise you if they won. Are you picking Tampa Bay?
I'm still picking the Dodgers. I picked the Dodgers in spring training, you know, summer camp, and all. So I still the Dodgers are the best team on paper. But I'm going Dodgers in 6. But I tell you what, if the Rays win, it would not surprise me at all. And this team is that good. I think if they can win 2 of these first 3 games, they got a legitimate shot. The Rays are right there with them.
Gabe, are you picking Tampa Bay or LA?
I'm going to go Dodgers in 5. And it sounds like a bit of a blowout, but not really. I think they're going to be 5 really tightly contested games. You know, the Dodgers are just so good in every facet of the game. And they have a slightly more set offensively. You know, guys like Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy, Seager, obviously Mookie Betts. And not only are they very patient and they can grind through a pitching staff and run up their pitch counts and wear them down over the course of a series, you know, they're also elite hitters. They can handle, you know, the kind of stuff that Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell and Charlie Morton and Nick Anderson out of the bullpen can throw at them. So it's, I think it's going to be an entertaining series. I think what you're going to see is every night the Rays just kind of, you know, going, where did that go wrong? What can we do next time? And then you look up and the Dodgers will be celebrating in the middle of Globe Life Field with their first World Series title since 1988.
After the break, 49ers All-Pro tight end George Kittle joins me, and he tells me all about the trash talk that happens on the gridiron. We'll be right back. We're back on Weekly Pulse. George, first things first, talk about what you're doing with USAA and its military and veteran members. Talk a little bit about that.
It's really fun for me. I get to work with USAA for the second year in a row. And their Salute to Service, it's a sweepstakes. You got to go to salutetoservice.com. It's for our military members and veterans. And the sweepstakes, it's pretty cool. You get a customized fan cave, which I think is really dope. But at the same time, you get to play video games with me, and I love video games. And so, if you want to spend an hour playing video games, you want to spend an hour on FaceTime and just talk football, I'm up for both. But please shoot me an Xbox. Please shoot me an invite on Xbox. I'd love to do that. But just the fact that I get to work with USAA and the sweepstakes for military members it's pretty cool, and it's special because I think we should give back as much as we can to military members, and this is a pretty cool experience.
Do you play Call of Duty? I play Call of Duty.
I do. I'm a huge fan.
Okay. You gonna get the new Cold War? Sorry, this is off.
I have not yet. I'm working on it. I actually just got the zombie thing updated, and when I'm done talking to you guys, I'll probably be playing.
Okay, I want to know how that ends up. You're gonna have to tell me how that works. But so the other day, Bill Belichick said he'd put you at the top of the list for best in the league. I don't know if you read that or not, but he said that. So I want to know, what does it mean to you to have one of the greatest coaches say you're one of the best at your position?
Just appreciative. Coach Belichick is, he is who he is, and the success that he's had, and what he's sustained for such a long time it's incredible. And to get a compliment like that from a future Hall of Fame coach it's incredible. And like I said, I just appreciate it. And it just makes me even more excited to go into New England this week and get to play against, one of the best coaches to do it. So just looking forward to it.
I heard on the Monday night broadcast a quote from Jason Witten on being successful at the tight end position. He said, "You're going to be the smallest blocker on the field and the slowest playmaker on the field. Being good at tight end comes down to technique." Do you agree with that?
Yes and no. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think I'm faster than some of our wide receivers, so I'm going to argue that one. But no, I think it's technique and just your effort and your want to. That's what the tight end position is. You're blocking 300-pound linemen. You're running routes against DBs that, are a couple tenths of a second faster than you in the 40. And so it's your want to get better at it every single day, and then how to improve your technique, how to run routes better. And Jason Witten's a guy that, look at him, how he's always open, no matter how old he is, that he's always open, and it's his technique and his routes. And you can watch his tape for days, and you can learn so much. And so there's a lot of truth to what he said. In the tight end position, it is about technique and effort.
Yeah. Recently, I asked Rookie Bears tight end Cole Kmet why it takes longer for tight ends to emerge in the NFL, and he said it was because you got to learn two positions, blocking like an O-lineman and catching like a wide receiver. How were you able to make that jump? Because clearly there was a jump from your rookie to your second year, and frankly, you haven't looked back.
I know a big part of that is coming from Iowa is kind of an NFL pro-style system. And so when I got to the Niners, the run game was very similar, like the technique of it. And so I had like 5 years of experience as opposed to a lot of the guys on the team. And so I figured out the run game quick, and the run game that's what makes the pass game easier. So I spent most of my time studying the pass game because I had the run game kind of under my belt. And then after that, it was just reps and constant repetition at practice, competitive practices, and you just got to believe in yourself. And that's really what it was. And just kind of, like you said, big jump between rookie year and second year. And I think a lot of that was just the understanding of the playbook and the game. And from there, just kind of took off.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about Jimmy for a second. He's had one of his most complete games last week against the Rams. And the week before, everyone in the Bay Area seemed to be calling for his job. And it feels like it's week to week how people view Jimmy G, in my opinion. How do you view him as your quarterback?
I view him a lot of ways. He's my buddy. He's my pal. But Jimmy is, he's the leader of this team, and he's a guy that his voice is heard throughout the locker room, throughout the whole facility. It's been like that since the day he got here a couple years ago. And that's what I respect about him. He's the exact same guy every single day. Good game, bad game, and he doesn't really have a lot of those bad games. And so, I know that he's going to take care of himself. He's going to handle himself, and he's going to come in the next day professional and ready to lead. And when you have a guy like that is that consistent, that's what leads the team, and that's what makes guys believe in him, and that's why I believe in him. He's never been a different person every single day. So when you have a guy like that on the team who can also sling the football, it's pretty fun.
What are those tangible things you see in him that makes you believe he can finish the job and win a Super Bowl?
Like I said, consistency. He's the same guy every single day. Like, he can come in, and I know he hates when I bring it up, but in practice last year in camp, pretty sure he threw like 5 interceptions in one practice. And I wasn't at that practice because I had a calf strain. And I didn't see anything. I came in the locker room and was like, "Hey, Jimmy, how was practice?" And he was like, it was tough, but hey, I'll get better from it.
Yeah.
And then I saw his fight, so I thought it was funny. But he did. He came back the next day and he played great. And that's just who Jimmy is. And like, when young guys see that and other players see that on our team, you're just like, all right, hey, you can make mistakes, but as long as you come back from it, you learn from it, and you get better, then that's what football is all about. And so we have a team that believes in this guy because, we all believe in him. And it's just, when you have a guy like that you can believe in and a leader like that, it's pretty fun to play for him.
Last year, you guys steamrolled your way to the 1 seed in the Super Bowl. You made it look easy from the outside. This year, it's been a little bit different. What's been the reason behind that, in your opinion?
I think there's a lot of reasons. And I think we have a really young team still. We have vets that are learning how to lead, for me, for example. And but we got a lot of new faces on the team. We lost some leaders, key injuries here and there. But, I don't want to make excuses for us because I think we bounced back well. And I think we're trying to learn who we are this year. And it just doesn't roll over. Like, yeah, we were a really good football team last year with amazing defense, and our offense was rolling the whole year. But it's not going to be like that every single time. And you got to kind of find your identity in and out every single week. And that's what we're doing. And we're just trying to figure out what we're really good at. And I know it's going to be a little bit different than last year, but we're going to make it work. And I think we showed that on Sunday night.
Yeah. I think a lot of people want to attach the Super Bowl hangover cliche to you guys, the Chiefs. Do you think there's any merit to the Super Bowl hangover? And why do teams who win or lose a Super Bowl struggle the next year?
I think all it is, think about the players that we don't have this year, from Joe Staley, Forrest Buckner, Emmanuel Sanders are guys right off the top. And do we have guys that replace them and that we have excellent players? Yeah. Trent Williams is incredible. Ayuk is going to be nuts. So, we have really good football players. We just drafted Kinlaw. Like, we have great football players. We're just learning to be, we're learning. And, you put a lot of, pressure on our, Kinlaw and Ayuk, and, they didn't have an OTAs. They're just, still finding their bearings out there, and they're both playing at a really high level. And, every single week they've gotten better. And the more that we can rely on our young guys and our rookies, and the more plays that they make, the better we're going to be. And I fully expect them to make a ton of plays. The
NFC West in general is the best division, top to bottom, very competitive on and off the field. So we saw some smack talk from Aaron Donald to Debo. From your experience, I want to know which team in the division talks the most smack on the field.
Oh, wow.
Put you on the spot.
Well, I have banter with everybody. I love talking to Jones and Buda Baker with the Cardinals. I like talking to Jalen Ramsey. He's fun out there. Like, it's fun to listen to him talk crap. I enjoy that a lot. Sunday night was fun. We had a lot of chatter the whole game, and it's really exciting with no fans because you hear every conversation, and it's really I like that.
And I know all division rivals are important. Any win is important, but for you personally, which rival is maybe the sweetest victory? Either because they're fans or smack talk, whatever it may be. Which one's your favorite?
Winning in Seattle has definitely been one of my favorites. I also will say 2018 when we beat Seattle at home, and that was our first victory against Seattle at home in like 6 years. And like what it meant to the organization and the fans, that was pretty special too. That was one of my favorite wins. You
guys won your last 3 in the throwback whites. Should you wear these from now on? Like, what makes them so clean? I love them, but
Is there a better uniform in the NFL? No.
That's a good question.
I would love to wear those every single game. They are incredible. You feel fast in them, and you feel like nothing can stop you. So, huge fan of them. Let's keep those rolling.
It's time for more Weekly Pulse. Welcome back to Weekly Pulse. If there's one person I wouldn't want to face at the line of scrimmage, it would be Titans running back Derrick Henry. We talk stiff arms, curls, and his vote for MVP. I feel like you guys are very underrated, and when it comes to the MVP race, everyone seems obsessed with Russell Wilson, but I would definitely argue that Ryan Tannehill, should also be in that mix. Why, in your opinion, is Tannehill not getting the respect he deserves right now?
Honestly, I don't know. I think he's shown it week after week. I think that, that respect should start coming. He's playing at a high level. We're 5-0, and I think that campaign needs to start. Tannehill for MVP.
Tannehill for MVP. All right, so tell me, what was more satisfying, the stiff arm on Josh Norman or the 94-yard run against the Texans?
I appreciate it all.
You appreciate it all?
I appreciate it all. Anything that I can get out there and make a lift for my team, I appreciate it all. It's hard to come by in this league, so I appreciate it all.
I want to talk about the stiff arm. You said it's because you do too many curls. How many is too many curls? And how many do I need to do to get like that?
Well, yeah, we have a thing on our team on Fridays where we call it Swole on Fridays. So we got the arms and the upper body. So maybe I need to lay off the Swole on Fridays for a little bit. Do a
YouTube tutorial on how to get like it.
Exactly.
So I'm sure you've seen the hoopla around Mike Vrabel creating the 4th timeout for you guys by getting that penalty to stop the clock. It ended up saving you guys 40 extra seconds that you guys needed to then get the game time touchdown to go into OT. So at the time he did that, did you know what he was doing?
Actually, I wasn't even paying attention. I think I was doing something when that was going on, but I heard about it after the game. I told him, you got to stop giving out his secrets, his tactics, because everybody's catching on.
I think a decision like that also shows how much confidence he has in the offense, that if they are given time, you guys can make it happen. In your opinion, is he the best or is this the most complete offense and coach you've played with?
As far as in the league, I would say yes. Quaver's is just smart. Studied the game a lot. He's played, for a long time. Won Super Bowls. So he knows the ins and outs, of the game, and he makes sure that we're well prepared throughout the week. And we have a great coaching staff that helps us get prepared. And offense, we've just been clicking, on all cylinders right now. And we want to keep that momentum going. And we know it all starts with preparation. So.
You led the league in rushing yards last season. You've already shown out so far this season. And you've partnered with Dr. Teals. I want to know what goes into your recovery and how important are those days when it comes to being ready for game day?
Yeah, recovery days are definitely important after a game. And Dr. Teals is definitely my recovery plan. As far as me soaking in the water, using Dr. Teals to get my body back under me, get my body recharged. Even after a workout, I use Dr. Teals, and especially after a game, when I'm taking a lot of hits, trying to get my body back under me for practice, for preparation that week against another opponent. Dr. Teals is my go-to. Just sitting there, let my body soak, let my body relax, and then feel better the next day. And everybody who don't use Dr. Teals, I recommend them to use it. It's definitely a great recovery company to use as far as getting your body back under you, even after a long day or anything else, to let your body relax and have your muscles feeling great.
That does it for this week's episode of Weekly Pulse. I want to thank our guests, George Kittle and Derrick Henry, for joining us on this week's episode, but I mostly want to thank them for helping out my fantasy team this year. That said, both are in action this weekend, as well as a ton of other great matchups. Until then, I'm Mackenzie Salmon. Thanks for watching. Hey sports fans, if you want to see more videos like this, check out some of our other ones right here. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more from USA Today Sports.